All right, today is the day. I've been saying it for 2 years now that I was going to do this. And then I made a promise to my friends that if my favorite team, the fighting Texas A&M Aggies, win in the Death Valley and beat LSU, that I would. Okay? So, my promise was that I was going to start a football talk show. Okay? So here we are. We're going to talk college. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk it all, man. I love football. Hope y'all do too. I just want to talk ball at the end of the day. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. I ain't got much of a setup. We're in my living room. I got a little house, whatever. Here we go. All right. So we're going to start it off with a recap of Saturday. This whole show is going to be about college football today. Anyway, so we're going to go with a recap of Saturday. And like I say, it's my favorite team. So that's who we're going to start it off with, okay? So pull out the sheet. A&M won 49-25. 49-25 in Death Valley. Yeah, it's a big deal. I don't care what type of LSU team has been put out there. That's a big deal. And personally, I felt like the matchup was perfect, okay? Everything was across the board the way you want it for A&M. A&M shown to struggle against the run. Some, I think it's more of they just give up the big runs versus just consistently getting ran on. They'll give up a big run and makes the stats look better. That's my mind. Somebody may disagree, whatever. Anyways, LSU doesn't run the ball good, okay? They did not have a good offensive line. It's been obvious all year, and I feel like Nussmeier really struggles when he's under pressure, not to mention he's all banged up. Got it? He's hurt. Can't move around. And you got Cassius Howell and the rest of that D-line coming after him versus O-line that just hasn't been good. It's just, we're going to face the facts. They haven't been good, all right? And then the starting left tackle's out. You got true freshman, or Kern, redshirt freshman, true freshman, whatever he is. He's a freshman starting against the best pass rusher in the SEC right now. Recipe for disaster, and that showed. A&M had a bunch of early mistakes that I think, it could have blown the game, but they just came out and whooped on them in the second half. Like, no way around it. Like, just straight, you know what I mean? Yeah, they did that, okay? So, in the first half, what was it, 18-14? You had a turnover at the 1 or 2 yard line. You had another pick. I felt like you spotted them 2 points on the safety. That should not have happened. You shouldn't have had the botch snap or a play or two before. That's what got you in that position. And then you got the safety. You had the pick. And then you had the other pick. You spotted them. I honestly felt like it should have been 21-7 at the worst at the half. Okay, maybe 21-10. Maybe. I don't know, though. I just felt like A&M controlled that whole game outside of them few mistakes. And they came out in the second half and just punched them in the mouth. And they put their foot on their throat and they never let up. They just straight up butt kicking. And I said it all off season. I told my friends, because I'm an A&M fan, talk A&M. And I told them, I was like, if A&M can get to that point where they're 7-0 when they go play LSU and they can win that game in Death Valley, that they're a national championship level team. Okay? Now, I truly believe that. And they proved me right, okay? So, they went in there and they won. Simple as that. Now, we'll talk about them more later. We're going to move on to the rest of the slate on what happened on Saturday, and we'll get to it. Okay, we'll decline that. I don't know if that's going on. Anyway, so next up, we got Ole Miss and OU. Personally, watching this game, I feel like it could have went both ways. I felt like Ole Miss could have beat them by 2 scores, and I felt like OU still had a chance to win. Honestly, if Mateer makes some plays right there, he missed some throws right there at the end. If he makes them, maybe they get to overtime. Maybe. And then who knows what happens. It's the SEC. You never know. So, Ole Miss, I think they just made the right plays at the right time. OU's corners were subject. They got hit on them quick hitters, and I remember them having 1 or 2 good deep passes. Maybe more. I could be wrong. But Ole Miss gave them chances. They gave them the 4th down in their own territory that they didn't get on the botch snap, and then they held them to 3 points. That was huge. OU scored a touchdown there, they probably won the game. Simple as that. But they didn't. And then one of my OU friends also pointed this out to me. X had 2 carries in the 4th quarter. May be wrong on that. I didn't check it. But the dude had the big run, and then he was doing some more. He was working on them. OU finally had a running game with the running backs, and then, nah. But anyways, Ole Miss with a huge win. I personally picked them to win that game. Yep. Anyways, that was huge for them. Their slate lining up, we'll get to it later again, it's pretty favorable. Could be a playoff team. Could be an SEC championship type team. We'll see. Next up, we got Vanderbilt versus Missouri. That game was awesome to watch. I know the scoreboard wasn't lit up, but it was just a straight up dogfight. Okay, it was a dogfight, start to finish, just straight up punching each other in the mouth the entire game. I loved watching it, but Vanderbilt came out on top, and that was huge. Now, if Prbula doesn't get hurt, I don't know if it ends up that way. I mean, I'm glad it did personally because I had Vanderbilt, but I mean, it was a straight up dogfight, and they came out on top. Vanderbilt I felt like that was a must-win game for both of those teams to keep their playoff hopes alive. I mean, honestly, like Mizzou they got to play OU and A&M without looking at their schedule. I can think of off the top of my head. I know they play those two. I don't think you're winning either one of those at all. But anyways, we'll move on from that. Vanderbilt came up, and they just made the play when it needed to happen. Although the ending of that game was just wild, right? The true freshman coming in, Hail Mary pass, and he caught it. The ball never crossed the goal line. That's wild, honestly. Like, just the fact, that shows how that close that game was, the fact he used that, like, 3 inches maybe from the end zone with the ball. I mean, his body's in the end zone. The ball's just saying. That's wild, in my mind. That was a great game all around. Shout out to Vanderbilt. I think they go in and beat Texas. We'll get more to that later. Anyways, next up, Alabama. You cannot rest in the SEC. They just beat 4 ranked teams in a row, and then they go to South Carolina, who has struggled all year, and they took them down to the very end, right? So you can't say that's what you got to do. Is these great teams, they win on their bad days. Alabama had a terrible day, and they still won. And then South Carolina, I think, could have easily won that game. They just made too many mistakes. The pick 6 at the start of the game did not help anything at all. Like, that was very detrimental. Shouldn't have happened. Just knock it down. Do something. I don't know. Catch the ball. Start with. I mean, lose your 4 yards. Just losing 4 is a lot better than losing 7 on the scoreboard. Simple as that. I don't know. I mean, South Carolina just lost a lot from last year's team. It's hard to rebound from that, especially as, I mean, they're not rotating in the guys like Alabama. Oh, I lose this 5-star recruit who went first round, and I'll replace him with another one. Yeah, they're not like that. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if there's some changes in South Carolina player-wise. I don't know about coach. I feel like Beamer's safe, but you never know. I mean, they could beat anybody on any given day, and they showed that here. I think it's Sellers and Stewart versus the world with that team. But anyways, we'll move on. Texas. As an Aggie, I hated seeing this. I wanted Mississippi State to win, not going to lie. But Texas made the plays when they needed to have. Mississippi State just doesn't know how to win, man. Overtime versus Tennessee, loss. Driving versus Florida, and they throw a pick to a defensive lineman. And then a 17-point lead versus Texas at home. And you lose. They not see what Niblett's done on the punt return? Why kick it to him? Why? Anyways, yeah. Arch, I don't really know how bad he's banged up. I hadn't looked into it much, but we'll see about that. I mean, I hate that for Mississippi State, but they're almost there. Like, I think they're a good football team. Not great, nothing. They just got to finish games. They haven't been able to finish. And trust me, like, as an A&M fan, I've seen it happen. You just be so close to being there, and you're not there. I mean, imagine if they beat Tennessee, they beat Florida, and they beat Texas. We're talking about them a lot different than we're talking about them right now. But, I mean, they still got a long way to go, but, I mean, that shows, like, if you want to be there, you can't blow a 17-point lead. But, I don't know. On to the next. Who we want to talk about next? I got Tennessee, just offensive superpower versus Kentucky. There's not much to say on that. They dropped 56 on their head. Kentucky, I've heard about the new court. I haven't personally watched him yet. Don't get me wrong. But he's putting up some good stats. At least he did versus Tennessee. Okay? But, yeah, Kentucky's they're the bottom of the barrel. They're the worst team in the SEC. Sorry. Anyways, Auburn. I personally picked this game wrong. I thought Arkansas was going to run up, punch him in the mouth, and possibly run the score up on him. And I think they would have if Arnold didn't get pulled. Arnold don't get pulled, Arkansas probably wins that game by 4 scores, maybe more. It was 21-10. After the pick 6, Ashton Daniels comes in, and Auburn didn't really offensively do anything to win the game other than Jeremiah Cobb running it right down their throat. But defensively, the implosion in the fourth quarter by Arkansas was awful, okay? But Hugh Freeze lives to fight another day. I personally, I'm not on the inside on anything. I don't know how much if he keeps winning, if he keeps the job. I mean, they play Kentucky this week. They should win. I don't know if they will, but they should. I think if they don't start Jackson Arnold, they'll win. But anyways, I figure he's probably done as a starter now. But we'll see how long Hugh Freeze makes it. Houston. Big win at Arizona State. Honestly, didn't see that one coming. I didn't make a pick on it, but that was big. Connor Wigman going in to Arizona State and getting the win. I mean, they haven't had a tough schedule, but the fact they only have one loss up to this point. They could find a way to do something. Who knows? I mean, we've got a long season. November is a long month in the college football world, okay? Utah just obliterating Colorado. Like, I turned it off. It was that bad. I was like, I'm not watching this. It was just straight up butt kick. Start finish. Miami taking care of Stanford 42-7. Close game late in third quarter, and then the house just blew off. Gone. Yeah. Cincinnati taking care of Baylor 41-20. Outside of that first game versus Nebraska, Cincinnati's looked good. Game versus Nebraska, I thought they looked awful. But since then, I mean, they got BYU later. When do they play BYU? Like 3 weeks, maybe, if I'm looking at that right. Yeah. So they get them later in the season. They'll have a chance to get in. I don't know who all else they play without looking at it. Depending on who they play, it might be favorable. They could get in the Big 12 championship. Who knows? Personally, I think BYU's really overrated, and that's who we're going to go to next when they played Iowa State, who was also overrated, and that's why they lost their last 2 games before the bye week. They're banged up, and you can't be an overrated team and with injuries and expect to win. And then they just blew it. They had a lead, everything's good, and then blew it. I don't know what was going on that punt, but anyways, you got to be more aware. You hear the words, get the hell away from the ball. Anyways, we're not even going to talk about it because I don't want to talk about BYU, but anyways, keep proving me wrong every week. They find a way to win. I think that comes to an end when they play Texas Tech. But anyways, Washington just thoroughly handling Illinois 42-25, shut them down. Washington's a good football team. They got Demon and Coleman. They're a good football team. And see, they lost to Ohio State and lost to Michigan. I mean, on paper, those are 2 good losses, okay? Going forward, I know they got a game with Oregon at home late in the year. Could be some fireworks there. Anyways, Memphis beating University of South Florida 34-31. Man, I don't know I watched the game. I'm not really sure how Memphis came back and won, but they did. I was rooting for them too. But yeah, it was just G5 football. That's what it was. And they came out and got the win. Wake Forest, I didn't get to watch this game, beating SMU 13-12. Just basically shot down SMU's ACC title hopes more than likely because they had 2 losses pre-ACC, so it could have got in. I think it's better that they lost because they shouldn't have. But Virginia escaping North Carolina in overtime, okay? Virginia is one of the most overrated. We're talking about overrated. They're also overrated. Don't get me wrong. I like the story. The quarterback, his dad is from the town over from me. I root for the kid solely for that. They are not the number 15 team in the country at all. And they got 2 games left. Let me look at it real quick. They got Cal, then they play Wake Forest, at Duke, at Virginia, and then they play Virginia Tech at home. It wouldn't shock me if they lose all 4. And the way the seasons went, wouldn't shock me if they win all 4, but I think they lose 2 of them for sure. Maybe 3. But yeah, they're going 2-2 in that stretch, and I don't think we'll have to worry about it, okay? Because they should not be in the playoff. They should not be in the ACC championship, but they might, and they proved me wrong, and I'm all for it. Yeah, I'll high-five you if I get a chance. So, I think that was a good little recap. So now, moving on into the juice of the conversation, we're going to talk about Saturday. And personally, the biggest game for me is 3 SEC games. You got Texas and Vandy. You have Georgia and Florida. You're going to be like, what? Yeah, Georgia and Florida. Trust me, I'll give you a reason why here in a minute. And OU and Tennessee. I'm an SEC person, obviously. I'm an Aggie fan, whatever. Those are the 3 biggest games to me. Let me take a quick look, run this over. I just brought up Virginia. I think they lose the Cal. We'll get to that in a minute. Ole Miss, South Carolina. It's possibly a trap game. Just come off a big win, coming back home. South Carolina off a bad loss. Who knows what you're going to get, right? But, yeah. So, we're going to talk about Texas and Vandy first. All right. Texas has escaped. I'm not going to give them crap for going to overtime with two of the lower teams in the SEC. You know why? Because they were on the road. Okay, and I hate Texas, but I'm going to give them credit here. It's hard to win on the road in the SEC. Anyone who knows football knows that. No matter who you're playing, going into those truly hostile environments and winning is hard. Simple as that, especially week in and week out, and how the schedules are in the SEC this year. I mean, I know A&M, we go a month of playing straightly at home and then a month on the road. Like, in Texas is the same thing. I think it's been longer than that for Texas. They haven't played at home. I mean, they play at home Saturday, but it's been a while. Yeah, I know Texas fans have been griping about it, but, I mean, they ain't the only ones. Everybody's kind of got screwed by it, I felt like. I'd have to go look at the schedule to truly confirm that, but it's just wild. How does it not? I mean, it should be, in my mind, every other week. Home, away, home, away, home, away in conference. This makes way more sense. But anyways, that's the SEC grind of it, man. But they got Vandy coming to Austin. Texas has escaped on the road twice. One of two things are going to happen. They're going to light it on fire Saturday, or they're going to get beat. Simple as that. You're going to win, you're going to lose. Whatever. I think Vandy comes in there and beats them. Okay? I don't think Vandy does anything great except play confident and cocky. They do that. I love it. But they're good at basically everything. Pavia can run it. He can throw it. They got some playmakers. They got Stowers. They got the I think it's number 5 or 6. Anyway, he can fly. Simple as that. Cannot remember his name off the top of my head. But he can move. I got a good run game. Decent pass game. Good defense. Everybody questioned if they could stop the run when they went into Missouri. Or went in playing Missouri. And they did for the most part. Like, they only got up 10 points versus one of the best rushing teams in the country. So, simple as that. There you go, play Texas. I think they stopped the run. And, I mean, I got to look into Arch. I haven't looked into it yet. Also, sorry about my hair. I had a hat on all day, and I'm not fixing it. Anyways, Texas is big player bust. What we've seen so far this year. Like, they're going to try to beat you 3-4 at a time, whatever. I don't really know what they're doing. Got it. Okay? They came out in that first play, offensive play, and they hit the little bubble screen. Was it Wingo or Moore? I can't remember. And just right down the field. I'm pretty sure it was Moore now that I think about it. Who knows? We'll figure it out later. And that was like what I expect. Like with Arch, he's struggling, hit some screens. Especially, he protected Quinn, I felt like, for the whole year. Like, he protected him with the play calling. And I felt, from what little I've watched of Texas, I feel like he hasn't protected Arch. It's just like, I don't know. And I think they just struggle a lot. And I just think their luck runs out at home against Vandy. Because you know Vandy ain't going to quit. You know how they're going to play. They are 110 miles an hour all the time. You might get on a sportsmanlike conduct penalty here and there. They're coming after you, okay? They're going to try to hurt you. They're going to try to win. And I think they're not Kentucky and they're not Mississippi State. They're going to come in Texas and they're going to beat Texas. I don't know how bad they'll beat them. Probably be a low-scoring game, more than likely. Texas does have a good defense. I know it got thrashed there for a little bit versus Mississippi State. It's not a bad defense by any means. It's a really good defense. Vandy's going to win. Next, Georgia and Florida. First game without Napier. Okay? I don't know if they win, but they're going to cover. Florida is going to cover this game, and it wouldn't shock me one bit if they win. Okay? That's far-fetched, I know. I mean, usually when teams fire coaches, I feel like they come out firing on all cylinders the next game. Okay? And rivalry, Georgia has struggled versus the pass. Like, I've witnessed quarterbacks sling it on them. Okay? They're just not the same Georgia. That's not saying they're not good. They're number 5 in the country. They're obviously freaking good. Right? Florida was one of these teams that could have been great this year, and they just weren't. Simple as that. The coach is gone. Their schedule is insane. But last year, I watched them before Lagway got hurt play Georgia close. This Georgia team ain't as good as it was last year. Simple as that. They're going to cover. Is it 7.5, 8 point? They're going to cover. Don't be shocked when they win. And I told you that. Okay? Anyways. Next we got OU and Tennessee. Okay? Tennessee's going to win this game. You're playing at Neyland that night. No. OU's not winning. You don't bounce back on the road like that for the most part. I know Ole Miss did versus OU. Yeah, no. I'm not the biggest Joey Aguilar fan like everyone else. I think the system fits the quarterback. And that system, from what I saw versus Ole Miss, that system fits how to beat OU. Okay? You got a pass rush, cool. We're going to hit you on the quick hitters. It's QB-friendly offense, and they got Brazil and the other. Tennessee's going to win that game. Yeah. Probably cover 2, but they're going to win. Simple as that. Okay? Next, we roll in the Miami and SMU. I think Miami is going to steamroll these guys, but it is, it's do or die for SMU. I mean, it's do or die for Miami. But, man, Miami, to me, they shouldn't have lost to Louisville. Threw 4 picks and came down to the wire. Simple as that. I think Miami's one of the best teams in the country. I think it shows on Saturday. They beat SMU. Probably covered. I don't know. Was it 10? I can see it. SMU just has explosiveness. And with Kevin Jennings, who knows? You know what I mean? Navy and North Texas. Navy's going to cover. They're going to keep the game close. Horvath and company. North Texas, feel-good story of the year. I love the story on their quarterback, but I don't know. I mean, 7 points, is it 7 still? I don't know. That's a lot, okay? And Navy, that offense, how they play football, North Texas didn't run away from Army, last I remember. I want to say it was a high-scoring, kind of close game. I'd have to go look at it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think they run away with it. Ohio State, Penn State, rivalry game, yeah. Ohio State's going to win, obviously. Oh, yeah, no. Penn State's done. Poor guys. Ohio State's going to win. 20-point favorites, 20.5, 21, something like that. Yeah. And we'll talk about more on Ohio State later. I have some thoughts on them, but yeah. They are not going undefeated. I'm going to put that out there. Okay, next up, Arizona State, Iowa State. If Jordan Tyson plays, Arizona State wins. I have to look into his injury more. I know he didn't play on Saturday. If he plays, they win. Okay, Iowa State lost their 2 starting corners for the year. Who's going to cover him? Who's going to cover? I mean, nobody can cover him, period, for the most part. Who is going to cover him? No, it would not shock me. Arizona State comes in there and wins, especially after what transpired last week for Iowa State in blowing the game versus BYU. Just everything falling apart. God, my hair is bad. Anyways, yeah, Arizona State, if Jordan Tyson plays, Sam Leavitt, I'm sorry he got banged up a little. If their normal starters start, they win. Simple. In my mind. I don't care if it's on the road. I think they win. All right. Now, Virginia versus Cal. I got Cal. Cal to cover. Wouldn't shock me if they win. Okay? Virginia, their defense has struggled against the pass. Cool. California throws the football. They got true freshman lefty who can sling it. And you're going across the country. That's a big one. It's so stupid that Stanford and Cal are the ACC. We'll get to that another day. Virginia all the way to Cal. Cross-country trip. It showed the hurt teams in the Big Ten. I mean, it's shown to hurt you from traveling across. Jesus Christ. There we go. It's shown to hurt teams, okay? 4.5 point spread. I mean, Cal's going to win. I just see it. I think the whole world's on it, too. Like, last time I looked, all the public was on Cal. Lay it. Okay? I think they're going to cover. If they don't, it was just for some more Virginia magic that we've seen this year. Just lucky things turning their way. It's happened all year. Maybe it keeps happening. Who knows? I'm going to start being the guy to go against it because I don't think it should. Anyways, Ole Miss, South Carolina, we touched on it a minute ago. Ole Miss they're kind of heavy favorites. And now another coaching opening that Kiffin is the leader for. I mean, that works on teams eventually. I mean, if anybody can handle it, though, it's probably that guy. after all the stuff he's been through. Usually it hasn't bode out well for him, and I think that's why he was underdogs at OU, that heavy of an underdog. But they should win this game easily. They really should. But it's the SEC, so who knows? Just be honest with you, man. There's a lot of points for an SEC game to begin with. Auburn and Kentucky. Oh, this one's hard. I think it's at Auburn. I don't know. I mean, they did just drop 30-something on Tennessee, but Auburn's defense is actually good for the most part. Yeah. If Ashton Daniels, maybe Deuce Knight gets some reps, man. Honestly, if I'm Hugh Freeze, I'm going to see. I mean, if I ain't in practice, I don't know how far along he is. If he is halfway, if he's ready to play him. That's like, you're either going to be the coach next year or you're not. I'm going to roll with the guy that's going to be the future. Because Arnold ain't going to be coming back and Ashton Daniels ain't going to come back. So Deuce Knight, unless you bring in another quarterback, is your quarterback. If he is ready to play, put him in. Simple as that, honestly. Like, that's the way I feel. If he is ready to play, put him in. Okay? And if he shows out, you bought yourself another year. That's how you buy yourself another year, is your true freshman quarterback going out there and balling out. I have no idea if he's banged up any. I don't really know. I hadn't looked into it. If he is available and looks good enough in practice to play that man. If not, roll Ashton Daniels out there. Do not put Jackson Arnold back in. Simple as that. Experiment failed. I don't blame you for trying it, considering he was this top recruit, all this and that. I do not blame you for trying. And at least you had a backup plan. You just waited too long to put it in. And now you might get fired because of it. But here we go. Okay? Georgia Tech, I don't have a winner on that. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, if you're going to bet on a game like that, probably just be safe. Take Kentucky with the points. At the same time, if Ashton Daniels comes in or Deuce, whoever, and they ball out, might win by 30. Who knows? Okay? Run the ball, Jeremiah Cobb. Just do that every play and throw up a go ball to Coleman, hope for the best, hit Singleton here and there. I don't know what to tell you, man. Just keep buying your time, man. Keep buying your time, Freeze. Georgia Tech, NC State could be seen as a little trap game for Georgia Tech going on the road. Man, end of the day, just give the ball to Haynes, man. And he starts limping. It's just his X factor dialing in. He's about to go off. And Georgia Tech's a feel-good story. I don't think they're the number 7 team in the country, but they find ways to win, and they keep doing it. They got a great run game. They got some decent receivers. They should win at NC. I don't care that it's on the road. They should win. NC State does have some playmakers, but not enough for me. Not enough for me without looking into it to say that NC State has a chance. Georgia Tech probably going to run the ball right down their throat, like they do everybody else. Okay? Wake Forest at Florida State. Oh, man. Mike Norvell's job's against the wall. I don't know. They're like 9.5-point favorites. That's a lot. Especially for how they struggled. Man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? So, I ain't making a pick on that one. Yeah. Man, that's all the games I wrote down. None of the others really enticed me. Now we're going to look in to what the future holds for the top 15 teams. Okay? I'm going to break it down, kind of make a few predictions. First show, we got to go bold, right? So, number 1, Ohio State. They're going to beat Penn State. They're going to beat Purdue. They're going to beat UCLA. They're going to beat Rutgers. But then they travel into the big house. And they're going to lose to Michigan. You heard it here first. They're going to lose to Michigan. They're not going into their house and beating them. They're not going to Ann Arbor and winning. They've played underwhelming. Their best win is Texas. We've seen what Texas has been. Okay? They're not going to go into Michigan and win. I do not think they will. Michigan owns them. For some reason, they do. And they're going to beat them. Simple as that. Okay? Michigan with the win. I don't care how underwhelming they have been at times. They're going to win. You heard it. Michigan. Next up is Indiana. Yeah, they're going undefeated. Simple as that. Undefeated. Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue. Tell me which one's beating them. I don't even care where they play at, because they're not. No. I think Indiana, like everyone still overlooking them because of their name. Okay, they just dismantled the feel-good story that UCLA's been, and more than dismantled, just destroyed everything that happened. It's like it never happened. Who's the offense coordinator now? Huh? Like, everybody thought he was the interim head coach. Nope, he's OC. They no posts about him now. But yeah, Indiana did that. I think they're a great football team, man. I'm going to buy into the hype. I'm going to buy into it. Everybody want to overlook it? I'm not going to. Like, they're here. Okay? Cignetti is that guy. They're here. My A&M Aggies. Yeah. At Mizzou, don't get me wrong, it's tough. If we got beat, it wouldn't be shocking. Okay? I don't think it's a 100% win game. I do think they win. Okay? I want to put that on the record. I think A&M wins. Mizzou does one thing very well that A&M has shown to struggle with at times. I don't think it's a full-blown problem that's stopping the run. Mizzou's also starting a true freshman quarterback. Okay? Load the box, stop the run, make that true freshman beat you. You make them throw the ball, I think you win. Simple as that. Okay? Their defense isn't going to stop you. They're not. Okay? A&M gets the win on the road. Then they got South Carolina. At home, they'll win. Samford, they'll win. At Texas, 12-0 season, maybe. We'll finish with Indiana and A&M, number 1 and number 2, going into the championship weekend. My prediction. Alabama, they get LSU and OU at home. LSU are firing their coach. If this game was in Death Valley, I would take LSU to win. I'm not going to lie. Just because the whole firing the coach thing we talked about earlier. But it's not. OU, I mean, they have a recipe to beat Alabama. They showed it last year, but I mean, this ain't the same Alabama team either. And then FCS school, and then Auburn. Out of all of them, I worry about Auburn. What if Daniels comes out and he plays good? All you got to be is a game manager for Auburn, and you can win football games, and they have yet to figure that out. They have all these weapons in the world, and Coleman, Singleton, Cobb, this defense. Like, they have all the weapons in the world. And you got to play at Auburn. Probably be at night. I don't know the time on it. As an Aggie, I saw what happens at Auburn at night. And, I mean, my dad's an Alabama fan. I grew up watching the Iron Bowl. It happens. I think I just called it the wrong name. Anyways, whatever. I kind of worry about that game more than the national media will up until the point. That game's iffy. I ain't gonna lie. If the offense just gets any sort of motion going, who knows? Who knows what could happen? It's November in the SEC, November college football. You never know, man. Next up, Georgia. Like I said, I think Florida's going to test them. Not sure if they win. It wouldn't shock me if Florida wins, though, man. You got to play at Mississippi State. Mississippi State just doesn't know how to win, so. And if they lose to Florida, they might murder Mississippi State. Who knows? But, yeah. They'll beat Texas. Charlotte, beat them. Georgia Tech, that'll be interesting. Last year's game was awesome. Ooh, overtime was awesome. Let me tell you. You about gave me a heart attack like 10 times. And I'm not even a fan of either school. I got to get a drink. Bear with me. All right. So, then we move into Oregon at Iowa, their next game. I don't know if you know this, but Iowa has been balling out recently. I think Oregon might be a tad overrated. Their best wins. I'm not going to discredit the Penn State win because I think like they just killed the program at Penn State with that win. But yeah, I'm not going to overlook Iowa if I'm Oregon. It could be an L. Minnesota, then USC. Jesus Christ. USC, my bad. USC at home. You're probably winning that, just being honest. At Washington. At Iowa, at Washington. 2 big ones for Oregon. You already got one loss. I don't think it wouldn't shock me if they lost both of them games. They cannot afford to do that. Maybe one. I think it's going to be very chaotic come selection time. But, I think there's going to be possibly multiple 2-loss teams. I have the argument. But, yeah. they got to split that. They got to go 3-1 in that stretch. Simple as that. Have to. And it wouldn't shock me if they go 2-2. Now we're moving on to number 7. Ole Miss. I'm using AP rankings for this. I hate it, but whatever. Ole Miss. South Carolina. That should be a win. Citadel win. Florida. Interesting. Florida beat them last year. Ole Miss should win. I mean, at Mississippi State, though. Rivalry week. That is serious. Sorry if you hear my kid back there. But anyways, that's a big one. Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Man, it's usually a game, man. Egg Bowl. Ole Miss should win. Okay. Should. Because Mississippi State don't know how to win. But they might figure it out on rivalry week. Georgia Tech, North Carolina State, Boston College, Pitt, UGA. UGA game really doesn't matter. Okay? Just being honest. You can lose it, go 11-1. Pitt matters. Pitt matters. They should beat Boston College, should beat North Carolina State. Vandy at Texas. I think they beat Texas. I see a world where they don't. I think they win. Okay? They should beat Auburn at home. Assume it's at home. Kentucky should win. At Tennessee, though, that's their big one. That is their big one. They could mean by what I think they'll be 10-1 going into that game. That's big. I mean, I wouldn't say you're locked in if you go in that game and get throttled. So that's a must-win game to me. I mean, 11-1 at Vandy would be wild. Okay. I mean, I think they could get in at 10-2, just depending on how they win. I just don't know because who knows who's going to be what. Like, how many 10-2 teams there will be. Somebody might get left out. I should got some creamy pepper sauce on my face. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be nobody at 9-3 is getting anything. I will tell you that. Okay. BYU at Texas Tech, they're going to lose. At Cincinnati, they're going to lose. Okay. I don't even care what happens to TCU and UCF. They're going to lose those 2 games. Or they will continue to prove me wrong and win. Who knows at this point? I don't think they win, though. But, yeah. Miami at SMU, win. Cuse, win. North Carolina State, win. At Virginia Tech, at Pitt. Virginia Tech one don't really bother me much, but they're at Pitt. Back-to-back road games at the end of the year. They hadn't had a bye week, and God knows when. Like, at that point of the season. I can see it, but, man, they should be 11-1. Should. Don't prove me wrong. Notre Dame, Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Q, Stanford. 5-0. They're going to go 10-2. They're going to make the playoff. They're one of the best teams in the country. They just played 2 of the best teams in the country to start the season. Simple as that. Okay? Texas Tech. Yeah, they're going to win out. They're probably going to win the Big 12. Okay? Simple as that. Man, yeah. Some of these are easy. Some of these are hard. Tennessee, OU, New Mexico State, Florida, Vandy. They're going to lose to Florida. They're going to lose to Florida. And they might lose to Vandy, too. I think they're going to lose to Florida. All this depends on how Florida looks post-Napier. Also, like, they could be even worse. Who knows? They could be 10 times. They could be to their potential. We don't know. Okay? Oh, hiccup. Lastly, Virginia. I talked about it earlier. They're going to lose to Cal, I think. They're going to lose to Duke, I think. They also got Wake Forest, Virginia Tech. Wouldn't shock me if they lost those. And then, as I said earlier, how this season has went, it wouldn't shock me if they win either. All 4. Who knows? I mean, it's chaotic. It's November, baby. Man, it's going to be a crazy month. And there's a lot of good football ahead of us. A lot of good ones. Talk about the Heisman real quick. We got Ty Simpson, Mendoza, Reed. People are throwing Pavia in there. I don't think Pavia has the stats. Even if he gets Vandy 11-1, I think it's hard to give him the Heisman because unless he just goes chaotic. He don't have the stats in my mind. Sayan's up there. And it just feels like a weak Heisman class, to be honest. I mean, Sayan has all the weapons in the world. There's zero reason he shouldn't be doing what he's doing if he's good. Simple as that. Okay. Mendoza's been playing great. Simpson's been playing great. Reed's been playing great. I mean, hell. As an Aggie, I'm going to be biased. Hope Marcel wins it. I can see it going to any of those 5, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's a standout. Put it that way. Nobody's standing out. No. What do we want to talk about next? Okay. In terms of national championship level teams, I mean, there could be plenty of them. But we're just going to talk about 3 for the moment. I'm not saying these are the only 3. We'll talk about 4. We'll talk about Alabama too. Screw it. Ohio State. Who have they played? Texas. That's it. And that's all they're going to play. Penn State kind of ruined that for them. That's not Ohio State's fault. That's all they're going to play until Michigan. So the first and last game are basically the only good football teams they play throughout the season. Get cream pepper off my face. I'm not saying Ohio State isn't good. They got Jeremiah Smith, they got Sayin, they got Cornell Tate. They got a great defense. How many great offenses they played? How many great teams they played? 0. But, I mean, but you can't fault them for that. That's not their fault. I mean, they play in the Big Ten. Big Ten ain't the SEC. I'm gonna make a lot of people mad saying that, but whatever. Okay. I think they lose to Michigan. I really do. Now, if they win, I wouldn't be shocked, but I just think they lose. Michigan owns them, and they know it. I think Michigan wins. Okay. Indiana, we talked about it earlier, they're not going to lose, and they have the weapons. They have Mendoza, they have Surratt, they have the other cat, they got Hemby and Black in the backfield, they got the defense that's showed out, and they're going to go undefeated. Now, if they win the Big Ten Championship, I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be Ohio State. I'm not really sure how it all, because Michigan lost to OU, and they lost to USC. So technically, they'd be like they'd only have 1 conference loss. I don't know how it's all going to shake up. I mean, this should be a wild month, man. A&M, you got, as we talked about earlier, Missouri, South Carolina, Stanford, Texas. I think A&M wins out. And that's me being a little bit of bias. I understand that. I think if you lose one, even with a true freshman quarterback, it's most likely to be Mizzou and then followed by Texas. Okay? And I can see you losing both. I can see us losing South Carolina. I do not think there's a world where it happens, okay? I understand CSCC. I think A&M, in a world a team's not going undefeated, goes undefeated just like Indiana. Into the championship weekend. I'm not saying they win that week. Who knows? But A&M, their offense, I think they have the best offense in the country, okay? Again, maybe I'm being biased. They can beat you multitude of different ways, okay? Any way they want, they can beat you. Okay, you stop the pass, cool, we're going to run the ball on you. Okay, you stop the run, cool, we're going to throw it. Hey, you shut down our offense, which Auburn did not shut down the offense. Go look at the stats. They just didn't score. Okay, A&M just couldn't score. Defense won the game. Okay, they can win a multitude of ways. Notre Dame shootout, Arkansas shootout, and then LSU foot on your throat. Florida. 7 minute and 50 second drive. Shut them down. Florida came out, scored 2 touchdowns. Bam, bam, bam. Done. Defense locked them up. Mississippi State, it was offense couldn't do anything. Defense held them in check, and then defense continued to do so, and then offense scored some points. I don't know. A&M, they got the skill position. They got the running back. They have probably them and Ohio State, I would say, probably have the best O-line, D-line in the country based off stats. Like, together. Like, their stats together. Probably top in the country. Okay? It's wild. We win. A&M wins in the trenches, and they got the skill players on the outside. Okay? They're a very seasoned team. I think they're coached really well. Them halftime adjustments from Elko, they got to be studied. I'd love to just sit in there and listen. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, I don't know what he says to him, but at halftime, it is just different, okay? Elko adjustments, known around the world. Yeah. But, anyways, Alabama's next. They just remind me so much of DeBoer's Washington team with Penix. They just find ways to win. In the weirdest way, like, who knows how it's going to happen, but they're going to win. Okay? And I just remember watching that with DeBoer's team with Washington. And I'm like, yeah, they're about to lose. They're about to lose. No, they won. It just happens every week. And then, well, they just steamroll you. One of the two. Okay? And it's a favorite. I mean, you get the two better teams. You get them at home. You get LSU and OU at home. I'm not going to discredit LSU just because they got their shit kicked in. But, yeah. Auburn on the road is more scary to me than the two better teams that you play at home. I don't know, man. You got possibly the Heisman frontrunner at quarterback. You got Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, and Brooks. A heck of a receiver trio. Jam Miller is a great runner. He's been solid for them. And then the offensive line, they're huge. Caden Proctor, Jesus Christ, dude's running the football. It's awesome. If I never knew DeBoer, never knew who he was, didn't know anything about football, and I seen him I showed up to my first game and Proctor's in the backfield or catching passes, instant fan. Dude, that's awesome. The fact that Caden Proctor is running the football, that's awesome. That's football. That's awesome. That is why we watch college football, baby. Yeah. All right. Well, now it's time for Luke's Nukes, my picks of the week. Vandy to beat Texas. Florida to cover the spread versus Georgia. And Tennessee to beat OU. Cal to cover versus Virginia. And who was the other one I had on there? Man, I was what, mind blank, dude. I know I had one more. Yeah, screw it. Arizona State to cover versus Iowa State. Man, I guess that's all. So the first show is wrapping up. I have no idea what I'm doing other than just trying to talk football. I know I do that. But I'm filming this on my phone in the living room. I mean, gotta start somewhere, I guess. But I don't know. Just for fun. We'll see where it goes. If you tune in, thank you. If you don't, okay. But, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Luke's out.